There's a saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. I love strategy. I love the whole idea of understanding a point, a vision, a future desired state that you hone and you're very clear you want to reach. Mapping out where you are, developing your sets of strategies for how you get there, which is a matter of prioritizing, focusing, executing. But if culture eats strategy for breakfast, then it's probably talking about what's underlying the ability to develop the right strategies and to win. So I think at the end of the day, it's winning. And so we could ask, what's a winning culture? There's lots of stories and experiences I think I can share around what I've seen about a winning culture. One is what led me to coin a term in the I would call the middle years of my journey in Rancard. That in this business, we don't sell, we get paid for solving problems. Now, where did that expression come from? At a certain stage in our journey, there was a bit of confusion. We had brought in a new board composed of a mix of investors, independents, founders, and we were trying to reinvent the business for the next level of scale. We'd done pretty well, scaled up, profitable a few years from the initial stages. And the challenge was this drive to sell, which is so skill translated to sell, boost revenues. Boosting revenues is right, but the question was how? And so what was being introduced was more of a traditional method of identifying the targets, potential targets, trying to compose your pitches and just going out there to push sales and to push sales. And for some reason, it wasn't resonating with the existing core team. The reason was the entire executive team at the time, myself, my co-founder, chief operating officer, chief information officer, those of us at the very top, we're all engineers. And we're all people who were passionate about problem solving. And yes, we happen to be engineers and had that training, but there are people in other professions, in law, in medicine, in accounting, in nursing, who are in carpentry, whatever it is, who are problem solvers. And so amongst the professions, there's the passion for problem solving, and we embodied that. And we didn't just have a passion for problem solving, we wanted to solve problems that were, and we'd express it this way, of economic and geographic scale, so problems that would have high impact. But that's how we made money, that's how we've grown, that's how we've broken through as a business and scaled. It's because our clients loved our ability to sit with them in whatever complex scenario that they had to express what they were trying to achieve, and often, overnight, we'd come back with a prototype that showed them a solution for how they'd get this solved. That's what they loved us for, And so we ultimately, when we struggled with our new board in this tension of the kind of organization and structure and team that they thought we needed to reorganize and reformulate to grow, and it wasn't working, and we weren't aligning, and we felt that, there was a lot of friction. Ultimately, what we understood and we expressed, one critical key expression of our culture was no. In Rancard, we don't sell. We get paid for solving problems. Our creative energies, the juices, what made us tick was that there was a significant problem with significant impact and scale to some organization, some community, and that we could get excited about being given the opportunity to take it up and work and solve it. So that's one key on culture. Another one which was quite interesting, I was in a meeting in London, and we'd made some presentations to some really big investors in the room, and through the discussion, one very senior gentleman approached me at a point and said, "You know what, I understand what you're doing, I understand your focus, but I think you need to raise even more capital." I thought the focus on raising capital up to a stage made sense, but I wanted to return the company to its innovative focus. And so I wanted to pull back from some of the corporate and institutional elements of growth and focus a bit more on the product core, on the innovative core on the same thing I've talked about, exciting clients with innovative insights and building out new products that could scale. He said, well, and this was wisdom. The gentleman said to me, you know, Kofi, it's difficult once you've built out a certain corporate size and structure to try and go back to being like you were before. It's almost impossible. You can't do it. You just need to keep raising more capital to feed out this beast. My words. And I said, no, I disagree. That's not what I'll do. Well, he spoke wisdom. And when I look back, he was right, but I was also right. He was right in that it's really difficult when you build out to a certain structure to return to a previous structure that you feel was more nimble. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult. So with the advice, in fact, the wisdom that senior gentleman had shared in the meeting, I call it wisdom because he was right, even though I was also right that it was necessary to go back to what our winning culture was. But he was right in that it was going to be very difficult to return to the previous structure. And the story I like to tell to illustrate this is in the David and Goliath story from the Bible. Before David goes out to meet the giant, when he's presented his case to the king says, well, if you're going to go out there and be a champion, go out as a warrior, put on armor. So they give David the armor. He tries it on, but he immediately realizes this is not his fighting style. This is not his culture. This is not a method he can use to win, because he has a track record of winning and he knows how he wins. So immediately David takes it off. I tell this story because at that point what I realized was that we tried on the armor when we had a new setup, which was different from how we'd previously been winning. And the problem was we didn't take it off immediately. We wore it for too long. So the armor didn't work. It wasn't our fighting style, but now taking it off became difficult. And that was the wisdom which the senior gentleman was sharing. The point here is, as a winning team, if you think of business like war, you have your style, you have your methods, you have your weapons, you know how you win, you have your track record of doing so. And you've got to be very careful to understand that and not be tempted to adopt new tactics that do not fit with your winning style. It doesn't mean you never go with new tactics or never try on new armor, but you need to make sure that it's going to amplify your opportunity, not put you in a weaker position. It may be how others win, but you have to be very clear how you win. That's where David was smart. He did try on the armor, but he doffed it immediately, went back, picked up his style of winning, and we know how the story ended. Sometimes, as somebody who has an opportunity in front of you, you'll be presented a different set of methods and tools for how to approach it. You need to evaluate that, not only as an individual, but as a business, especially as a business leader, and understand whether the new approaches being suggested, the new influences, the new structures that you're looking at are consistent with your winning culture. And that's why it's so important to define your culture clearly. It gives you the understanding and the clarity in those moments where you are challenged with different influences as to whether these are consistent with your values, consistent with your winning culture, or could derail you, and make the right choices on that basis.